To witness a substantial rise in XRP's value, it is essential for the ecosystem to foster a multitude of projects, each harnessing the power of the XRP ledger. The crux of this matter lies in the basic principles of supply and demand. By proliferating the adoption of the XRP ledger in a diverse array of projects, the resultant increase in demand effectively offsets the existing supply. This elegant and time-tested economic dynamic is a fundamental driver of price appreciation. In essence, the equation is clear. A growing number of projects utilizing the XRP ledger contributes to heightened demand, and as demand outpaces supply, the natural outcome is an increase of XRP's price. Therefore, as an XRP holder, you have a vested interest in supporting and monitoring projects that leverage this ledger's technology as they play a pivotal role in the journey towards realizing the full potential of your investment. In a recent Zoom, I had the privilege of hosting two members of the Brazilian team known as Things Go Online, or TGO. They are notable Ripple grantee winners and recently showcased their work at the Apex Developers Summit in the Netherlands. Their business model revolves around providing high-quality data for estimating energy consumption, and they achieve this through a unique combination of hardware and software that can measure and tokenize this data on the XRP ledger. Their IoT device features a sensor that can connect to various metrics, including water volume, CO2 emissions, and kilowatt-hour generation. What sets them apart is their ability to send this data to the ledger with no external interference, effectively eliminating the possibility of fake or manipulated results, a practice sometimes referred to as greenwashing. This innovation is poised to be in high demand as ESG, the environmental, social, and governance standards, continues to intertwine with every aspect of our world. TGO's work is not just groundbreaking, it's a crucial step towards ensuring transparency and accuracy in energy consumption estimation, aligning perfectly with the evolving global sustainability goals.
I'm a chemical engineer in the background and specialized in molecular biology. So my interest was transforming things in large scale using biology. I entered in some different disciplines and ended up conceiving the concept that we call the conservometer, which is a kind of metrics for conservation.
I'm an electrical engineer, and I also hold a doctorate degree in power electronics. And I have interest in programming also. I use the programming as a tool for my work. I'm a co-founder of Eneltech company, that's an electrical engineering company before we launched the TGO company, that the Things Go Online company, that Ricardo is one of the co-founders also. I'm also a professor here in Brazil. I teach on the electrical engineering course. And I'm in crypto since 2018. About 2020, I started to search about the technology. And I found the XRP ledger, and we start building our company using the ledger.
First, the concept of providing a tool for ESG using crypto was a starter. And because we are very much concerned about environmental issues, we very soon understood that a crypto technology that consumes a lot of energy is not good. So the answer was obvious.
The XRP ledger is energy efficient, is fast, reliable, is running, have been running for the past 12 years without any important issue. Is we have a great community, great developers. It's an open source code. So, and it would be, as Ricardo mentioned, it would be a nonsense to build a sustainability rewards ecosystem on top of a blockchain that is energy intensive. So that was, because of that, we have chosen the XRP ledger. The basis of our systems is the conservometer concept. So in order to build a real world ecosystem based on this concept, we have designed what we call TGO circular economy. So we start measuring real things because the sustainability systems nowadays, they are based on much more on estimations. So, and these estimations, they are not very, they don't have quality. Most of these estimations don't is not real. They're not real. So we decided to build an ecosystem that is based on measurements, real measurements, and we need to measure the sustainability benefit as much as possible near of its source. So we decided to build an IoT device, this one here. It's a sample that we have prepared for the Apex summit. So this IoT device, it communicates with sensors and with other devices in order to measure the real quantity, the real sustainability benefit, and to tokenize it on the XRP ledger using cross-currency payment transactions.
For the individuals or only for companies? Can an individual also participate?
Yeah, it's a great question. You only make good questions. That's one of the reasons of the ecosystems is to enable any size, small and large, to participate equally. Rodrigo has a lot of experience in that. Maybe I'll let Rodrigo talk a little bit more.
Yes, because we are developing this kind of IoT device that is based on a microcontroller. It's a low-cost piece of hardware that it can, for instance, if you have solar panels on the roof of your house generating electricity, we can also measure it for you, and you will be rewarded with TGO tokens. So because regular people, they don't need the certificate, so they will receive the tokens and they can sell it or they can exchange it for whatever other benefit, including fiat money or any other reward program from our partners. So if you want to exchange the TGO token for dollars or for XRP or for whatever, you will be rewarded by your attitudes of generating electricity from the sun. And then the companies that need to compensate their footprint, they will use your TGO that you sold in order to buy our give back certificates as a proof of commitment with the environmental and social mitigation, right? So when they retire, in order the give back certificates, they can use it on their sustainability reports. Because when you retire certificates in the XRP ledger, it means that we are burning the NFT because these certificates are issued as NFTs on the ledger. So we need to burn it in order for the company to prove in their sustainability report, because otherwise they can sell, as Ricardo mentioned, they can sell the certificate.
And on the opposite side, is there a way to be incentivized for water capture? Because there's a lot of places around the world that need water capture.
Interesting. From the rain, for instance.
Yeah, for instance.
Yes. In any kind of beneficial measurement that is actually measured can work in our ecosystem. And one very important issue about that is that this IoT device, in the same device, connects the sensor, which measures any quantity, say water volume or CO2 emission or kilowatt hour generated, and in the same device it tokenizes. So and send it to the ledger. So there's no room for human interference and much less likelihood of greenwashing, which is a very important issue nowadays. We're not talking about, I planted 100,000 trees, but I didn't.
It's kind of faking the system, right?
That's it. So one of the reasons of the TGO ecosystem is to avoid greenwashing and faking the system. The measurements themselves are very important to us, and that's why we tokenize the measurements. And the measurements back the tokens, so they are not speculative. They are backed on the measurements, on the physical measurements.
Yes, any transaction on the ledger has less energy consumption than, for instance, the Bitcoin. So if people decide to move Bitcoin using the XRP ledger, that is what most of people do, we can tokenize the benefit of using the ledger instead of the Bitcoin blockchain, and we can reward the owner of the transaction.
Is there a way to make, I'm always figuring out how can I make money on this? Is there a way for the and I'm thinking individual, not, and I can see large scale, but I'm trying to also think of if you can get 1 million people, individuals, that can equal a lot of people doing a lot of things. So my friend Jay, who runs an app called Spend the Bits, he moves Bitcoin and stable coins and anything you want using the XRP ledger. And so for every app that gets downloaded that he puts out there in the world, the individuals could also be in that position to gain credits.
That's it. When you have a comparison and you choose the right beneficial attitude, you can be rewarded by that. That's the spirit of the system.
Great idea, because if the guy chooses to move Bitcoin using the ledger, the XRP ledger, or if he chooses to move Ethereum with the XRP ledger, he can be rewarded because it's a more environmental attitude. It spends less energy.
I can see that those credits that get amassed could be used in various ways. He could distribute them out as loyalty tokens to the people who use his app. He could take them all and be able to provide maybe some free transfers based on, he's got credits, so he passes those credits down to the people using his app. I mean, you can think of different ways to utilize those benefits.
This device, it can also be a piece of software, a library embedded on the Spend the Bits app, and it automatically would send the XRP ledger transaction to register the benefit. Of course, we need to document what we are measuring and the benefits. So that's why the Things Go Online company, we are a Brazilian company. And right now we are under a certification process by an international non-profit organization that is IFGICT. When we start measuring renewable energy, we will have the rules documented and certified. So when we partner with Spend the Beats, and we document how we will do that, we will document the real benefits, and we start registering on the XRP ledger each time a transaction is chosen by the user. When it chooses the XRP ledger path, he will get a reward token that is the TGO token. Or it can be our partner reward program. For instance, in the gas station, the user don't need to know anything about crypto. They even don't need to know about TGO token. They just can get a discount, as Ricardo mentioned.
Yeah.
So and the ecosystem is buying the credits, the sustainability credits that this user generated, so we can use this credit to back the give back certificates.
Yeah.
So we are trying to build an ecosystem that is transparent for the regular people. They don't need to know anything about crypto to join to our ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine everybody who's a builder on the XRP ledger should be measuring their usage.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not that difficult to measure the energy consumption of each XRP ledger transaction, because for instance, Ripple has a white paper about that. We have read it in the past in order to write our patent, because our ecosystem is patent. We have about 6 patents. Ricardo is our patent man. He can talk about patents.
Yeah, it's one of my fields of expertise. I have a company on that as well, a intellectual property counseling firm, and so I take advantage of that position to protect anything that we have as a leverage.
Yeah, smart.
If a company uses the IoT device, it can register the positive footprint, which is your environmental positive attitudes, such as savings, water economy, energy, and not the footprint itself. And because of that, the automatic tokenization of the IoT device provides a kind of virtual cash to the company in environmental accountability.
Can it be traded?
Yes.
So if my footprint that's been measured is low, I have a great certificate that shows, and somebody wants to go over their allotted or what they have put their goal to be, they would be able to buy my certificate to offset their footprint?
Yeah, it's a great question. And we see value in 3 layers there. The first layer is reputational, because you prove that you are actually caring about and measuring real entities. The second one is the compensation. If you have a footprint, you have to compensate. And if you compensate at least some percentage of it, you have less cost to compensate the remainder. And if you have surplus, of course you can sell that. And the ecosystem provides a marketplace for doing so. Reputational, compensation, and commercialization.
It's not just all about CO2. It's more. There are lots of attitudes and projects that are environmental and social friendly, and we can measure them in nature. We don't need to convert the benefit to a CO2 molecule. We can, but we don't need.
It's a bigger world in terms of conservation than just CO2.
That's it.
Sure.
That's it. And that's why we initially coined that as conservation credit and not carbon credit.
Uh-huh.
Because it's an abstraction with much more embodiments.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we are up to now, we're talking just in this conversation, we're just talking about E from the ESG. We have the S as well. And for social attitudes,
Mm-hmm.
we are starting to discuss and partner with companies that provide only social benefits. So to measure this kind of things is a little bit different, but we have an example to give you.
Mm.
There's a partner company that produces machines for providing streaming of surgeries.
Mm.
These machines connect two doctors, one locally in a remote village, for instance, which is a doctor using the device, and another doctor, which is a very specialized one, gray hair, assisting the local doctor by streaming. So the machine can connect two very separated persons to provide better medical assistance, and this can be measured, and this can be tokenized. So, for instance, a medical assistance in the Amazon is likely to be more valuable than a medical assistance in New York.
Mm.
As for the social benefit, because the difficulties there are greater. So maybe the companies are willing to say, well, I helped providing healthcare for 500 people in the Amazon in this fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
And we measured that. It's true.
Yeah. And the fact that they didn't actually travel, because the traveling has a big footprint to it.
That's it.
That's quantifiable.
Yeah, and they add up the social and environmental.
Mm.
So the one of the magic things of TGO is that each measurement does not necessarily exclude the other one, which may be synergistic. So depending on how this becomes really a behavior, the value tends to skyrocket.
Let's talk a little bit about Things Go Online, a sustainability rewards ecosystem built on top of the XRP ledger. But before we jump to the technical stuff, let's talk a little bit why we started to build such an ecosystem. If we pause our presentation right now and start Googling the keyword greenwashing, we will find lots of news about the greenwashing problem. It's a global problem that we need to solve. Recently, the European Parliament, they released the new standard for sustainability reports in order to try to avoid the greenwashing problem. So that's a huge opportunity for us to build systems like what you're proposing, systems like Equal Clay Graham has presented earlier, to bring the online value of sustainability. So right now, our Brazilian company is being under certification and verification process by a third-party organization that is based on US but has branches all over the world. It's IFG-ICT, International Federation for Global and Green Information Communication Technology. And yes, we already have 5 pending patents, and we also are a grantee of the XRP Ledger Grants Program, Wave 4. Thank you, Ripple, for supporting all the community building on the XRP Ledger. And our solution is a comprehensive and reliable blockchain-based XRP Ledger platform for rewarding sustainable projects and attitudes, as well as documenting sustainability reports. So, to understand how we build such an ecosystem, we need to understand the TGO circular economy. The TGO is our reward token, and we have decided to issue it by the end of 2021, but we decided not to do the ICO of this token because this is our reward token. It cannot be released when sustainable projects and attitudes are measured and registered in the XRP Ledger. So, as an example, suppose people and companies doing sustainable attitude, investing on sustainable attitudes. We have created an IoT device that measures these sustainability quantities and signs and sends XRP Ledger transactions directly to the ledger. Of course, it uses a communication with a node of the XRP Ledger, but the information that is sent to the ledger does not have any intermediary database. The IoT device is a microcontroller-based device that sends what we call device tokens. These device tokens are related to a real, measured, sustainable attitude. For instance, if we are measuring renewable energy generation, we can have the token KWH in order to represent 1 kilowatt hour of energy produced. Also, if you would like to measure the same quantity using another unit, for instance, megawatt hour, we could use a device token named MWH. Or we can use CO2. We can use whatever a name for this device token to represent a physical benefit, a physical, environmental, or social benefit to register in the XRP Ledger. But why we call this device Joker? That's because it's able to communicate with other devices, with sensors, with equipment from our partners. So, when we register the device token on the XRP Ledger, automatically it swaps the KWH token into TGO reward tokens that are sent directly to the rewards account of the owners of the sustainable projects and attitudes. These tokens can be used by the owner of the sustainable attitude to extend for fiat money or any other reward program from our partners, or they can use the token to buy the give-back certificates. We are going to talk about that. Also, companies and people who need to compensate for their environmental and social footprints, they can also buy the TGO token on the decentralized exchange of the XRP Ledger, or in centralized exchanges when we listed it, the token on centralized exchange, or they can use our mobile app that we are going to demonstrate a little bit later to buy these TGO tokens in order to buy the give-back certificates. So they send the TGO back to our distribution account in order to us mint these NFTs that are backed by the device tokens. So each NFT can track the device tokens that give these NFTs the wealth that they represent, real, social, or environmental benefits. These give-back certificates are tradable, or they can also be retired. In the case of the retirement of the give-back certificates, they can be used as a proof of commitment for social and environmental behavior of the companies in their sustainability reports. To understand the device token to TGO swap mechanism without the need of using smart contract feature of the XRP ledger, because on that time there was not so evoluted like we have nowadays, we could do this swap mechanism by using some features of the XRP ledger decentralized exchange. For that, we need 6 XRPL accounts, or it can be less than, but just to understand, the 6 XRP ledger accounts. The first one is our TGO issuer account that by the end of 2021, we've created 1 billion TGO tokens and black holed this account. So our hot wallet is our TGO distribution account that preloads our swap account with an amount of reward tokens. At the same way, the device token issuer account preloads our device meter account with an amount of device token, in this example, KWH. Now, the Oracle server of the TGO ecosystem calculates the amount of the TGO we are going to pay for each KWH token, each device token that we'll store, that we'll receive from the device meter. So it calculates the price and sets a TGO KWH offer order on the XRP Ledger DEX book, order book. So, for instance, we could say, I will pay 10 TGO tokens for 1 KWH token that we receive. Now, our Joker IoT device meter stores the secret keys for the device meter account. And it measures, for instance, in this example, the renewable energy produced by a solar power plant. And it sends a cross-currency payment transaction to pay TGO tokens using KWH tokens. As we have set an offer order on the DEX of the ledger, the network finds a path in order to reward the rewards account of the owner of the solar power plant to receive the reward token TGO by paying with the social or environmental benefit represented by this device token KWH. That's the swap token mechanism of the TGO ecosystem. Now, the swap count starts to accumulate an amount of social or environmental benefits because they are accumulated device tokens. And these device tokens accumulated by our swap account are used by our ecosystem to issue, to back the give-back certificates that are issued as NFTs on the ledger. These NFTs, the give-back certificates, can represent any kind of environmental or social benefit. It can also represent CO2 reduction, or CH4, water savings, renewable energy. And yes, it can also register the energy efficiency of the XRP ledger when compared with, for instance, proof-of-work-based blockchains like Bitcoin. We could also represent the environmental benefit of the ledger, of our XRP ledger, right? So let's stop a little bit this boring presentation and let's do some hands-on. I bring here 3 IoT devices packaged with this 3D printed case. Let me try to show you here. Oh, sorry. So, I'll try to show you guys this piece of hardware. I will share with you. I will ask for you to press this, because this device, we don't need the display, we don't need the push buttons in order to integrate with our partner's device. But in this case, we put 2 push buttons. You will press the button, push button. Here, we are going to send 5, pressing the upper button, 5 MWH that represents 5 megawatt-hour of energy. So it takes a little while because it's a microcontroller, it's not a microprocessor. It's ESP32 based, so it takes approximately 1 minute. I'll just come back here. Sorry. I will keep this one here. And sorry, I'm going near you. So you can test. I will send who wants to test. So thank you for your help. Let me come back here. Right now, we already have prepared the transaction. Now we are sending the transaction. It gives us success and a short URL in order to check the transaction on the XRP ledger. We can go back. The device we have, I don't know, I think maybe the color. Oh, no problem. Let's open. Let's open the Bitcoin Explorer. Let's see the transaction here. Okay, sorry. I need to press on the hash. So because we are 2 hours in advance, it's here, almost this time, the Joker. We call it Joker, so we have used the XRPL account that named by Joker. And so here we can see that we send 50 TGO tokens in order to receive 5 MWH tokens on the ledger. So that's here the transaction. So if we now go to the here is our swap account. Oh, one of the devices already has sent 2 MWH tokens in order to pay 20 TGO tokens. So our TGO token, our swap account, on this transaction that was my first transaction here, received 5 MWH tokens in order to pay 50 TGO reward tokens. I think the other device has, who pressed it? You pressed it too? Yeah, so it sends 2 MWH tokens to us in order to pay 20 TGO tokens. Here is the buying order that we have set, the swap account. If you remember, let's go back a little bit. Here, Here, the swap account, it receives KWH token and sends TGO setting an offer order on the book. So here is the order on the book paying 10 TGO for 1 MWH token. Okay? So let's refresh here to see if the other device has sent a successful transaction or if he failed. Sorry? Okay, so let's just follow on, but the transaction, if it not fails, because we know that the transaction sometimes can fail on the ledger, it will succeed. So now we can use we can use our mobile app that it sends success. So if we go back, refresh, you has pressed 5.
I was going to say I sent it.
5 or 6. We have another one here. 6. Oh, that's great. Thank you, guys. You're so good. So let's now jump into our mobile app that we develop under the XRPL Grants 4. Here we have an account. We have balance. We have here the transactions. It's a centralized app in order to achieve the regular people, regular companies. So here we have the Give Back tab. So we have created a Give Back Apex Energy certificate that you guys just pressed the button to generate this electricity by the community. So I will ask for the minting of an NFT that represent, for instance, 10 megawatt hour of energy. So we have classification. For instance, if the project doesn't have any certificate, any third-party certification, it can use our certification that we are doing with the IFGICT in order to issue bronze certificates. If the project that we are measuring has its own certifications, it can be a gold or silver, depending on the certification. The face value of this certificate is 1 megawatt hour, 1 MWH. And the price in this example is 2 TGO per unit. So if we are going to issue 10 certificates, we are going to buy the minting of 10 Give Back Apex Energy certificates, G Apex, issued as NFTs backed by 10 megawatt hour of energy from the solar power plant, registered on the blockchain as 10 MWH device tokens, paying a total of 2 TGO, including 5% service fee of 0.1 TGO. So let's press the button to issue it. Ask my authentication. Let me see. I need my authenticator. So it's checking. Now processing. Let's just wait a few minutes. No, some seconds, I think. Now, have it here. This one here, 10 and 10, because it's Brazilian time, 5 hours before. So here we have the certificate. We can view it, the raw certificate here. We can expand the certificate, all the information, the location, the owners. So, and here we have the sustainability backing of our ecosystem. Each transaction here, each transaction, you see RJOKI 4, the first address above. We have used 6 device tokens that were sent to the XRP ledger by the Joker 4 device. We also have used the Joker 8 device for issuing the 5 from the Joker 8 device. And, sorry, Joker 8 device 1 and Joker 4, 6. So if you sum 6 plus 5, 6 plus 5 plus 1, we have the 6 here. So each transaction that was registered in the past are used to have the 6 volume here. We have other device also in order to have the total of 5 that I have pressed 5 and then 1 here, the total 6. And this burn hash, we burn all the tokens that we use to back the certificates in order they cannot be used again to back any other certificate, right? So that's how we use the device tokens that we have accumulated on the swap transaction procedures, right? So this give back certificate, we can sell it if we press this button. We can put the date limit if it's to a specific user and the value, or we can burn it. It will ask if I'm not sure. I just press the button. Processing. Now we can check it again. We have to put a OK button. Now we can open it on an Explorer. I don't know, it's here. And so it can show all the attributes of the NFT that we have burned. So I haven't more time, or it's because it's time up for me, sorry. So we can come back here and to talk a little bit more. Right now, we have more than 1 year of renewable energy registering on the XRP ledger. It's a solar Brazilian power plant that we are measuring for over than 1 year. And we have registered more than 100 megawatt hour of energy. And we have already sell the issuance of the give back of this use case. So we have another partnership with a Brazilian company called Pontua X. They have a fidelity program with fuel in order to measure the fuel that the users put in their cars. And we are measuring the ethanol quantity that the owner of the cars choose to fill the tank. And it represents an amount of CO2 reduction. It's a patent file also. And this aims to reward the promotion of ethanol fuel adoption. Another partnership is with another Brazilian company, CHP. They produce generators that use biogas to produce electricity. So our partnership, we have integrated our IoT device into their electronic measurement device in order to tokenize the energy production using biogas, and also to tokenize the quality of the biogas produced. And another partnership that we have signed is to tokenize the water savings benefit in order to promote. TGO company is a Brazilian company that has a lot of clients, hospitals, schools, buildings, industrial companies, in order to reduce water consumption. So that's it. And if you have any question, I'm here to try to answer to you. And please join us and give back.